So Spurs have won 3-1 at home to Bodo Glimt. I'm joined by PERCHY for a fan cam. PERCHY, 3-1. We all thought we were bang in the final. Then that ray of light at the end from Bodo Glimt. What did you make of the game? Talk to me about it, mate.
Yeah, look. I thought, apart from the goal, I thought we kind of got the job done. It felt one of those games. I thought we finally had a system that had balance in it. That brilliant B word that we haven't had all season. Yeah, look. I thought we had really, really good opportunities. Before anyone says it, that was the softest penalty I've ever seen ever. What is that? And Bissouma, mate, is just proven a lot of people wrong tonight, because I thought he was the best player on the pitch by a country mile.
I agree. I mean, look, let me ask you then, the way we did set up, I mean, you said there we brought balance. What did you think was different about it tonight to how we normally set up in games?
Well, I think one of the key bits was the chaos wasn't there. Like, we watched Tottenham enough to go, it's all over the shop. It's for frantic and no one's got any sort of control on it. I thought Bissouma and Bentancur today were brilliant. I thought, again, another game where James Maddison controls everything. You give him the ball and magic happens. And you notice when he came off after he took that knock, that sort of build-up didn't happen. So we looked much more controlled. A little bit of a shout as well. Richarlison, by the way, first half. I heard he got a knock. That's why he came off. But for me, I thought first off, I think the key word I put in the group chat, nuisance. I think the best word for it, he was a nuisance. Like, he was at people's throats. Quality weren't there. I grant him that. But by the way, first 30 seconds, that header back to Johnson was brilliant, because other people go for goal there. They go for goal there. He looks at a player back post and gets in. So you got to say credit where credit's due. Look, it's a game where at 3-0, we're all sitting there, like, you're on your phones going, can we get flights to Bilbao? And then they score and you go, should we just wait a second?
Right.
I still think we're winning. I still think we're going through the tie. All I've said to people was that one goal could be costly, because they score early at their place and you go, now have Tottenham got the minerals 1-0 down, with now having to go and retain this and hold it in a freezing cold country, plastic pitch. By the way, I don't want to hear people making excuses about plastic pitches. Spurs have hundreds of them in their facilities where they can go and train all this. Like, by the way, clubs can do all this. I think when people go, oh, they won't know what the climate, they can climatize it and they can do all that. So all that stuff is nonsense. But it's that moment, right? So I think look, I still think we're going through. I said we'd win 4-0 today, and I thought we probably could have done. I thought, just again, it feels like always a little bit of lacking in quality, where you go, that could have been the game where you go 5-0, job done, we're in it, we're all there. It's 3-1. It's not the end of the result. Some people will go, I think, over the top, like, angry about it. I don't think it's that bad. It's a result that I expected Tottenham to be Bodo Glimt. We should be beating them.
Let's be fair. If we are a top Premier League club, we should be going over 2-goal lead and a professional game plan.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. I thought the difference from the first half to the second half today was chalk and cheese. I thought the first half, really up for it, looked really positive every time we flew forward. Second half for me felt a little bit bitty. It all felt a little bit knitted together at times. And it was almost as though the intensity in the press stopped. And like you said, that was kind of linked with Maddison. I want you to talk to me about Bissouma and Bentancur, though. Because Bissouma and Bentancur, for me, again, neither of them were asked to do a number 6 today. They both played as number 8s, as box-to-box players. What difference did that make for you?
Well, I think the difference is everything we've been crying out for Bissouma to actually do. I thought he was phenomenal. Bentancur, both of them, by the way, not just one, both of them were brilliant. Yeah, and it allowed them not to be sucked in to those problems and picking up problems. They were picking up the ball, distributing, moving it, engine. They were working hard with it. I thought it was brilliant. I thought that's how you set them two up. If you're going to play them two, and for me, next week, those two are your two midfielders. It can't be anyone else. It can't be others coming in now. I think you've got to stick with them two. Even if Bergval's back, I know people will start going, oh, well, Bergval should come back in. For me, it's got to be Bissouma Bentancur, played like that.
Yep.
Especially away from home. I think it'd be more important. You can't let a kid like Bergval go over there. They will eat him alive, though, the way that they'll play. And look, Bodo Glimt will not have anything to lose now. So they might be taking more risks. I think people miss that bit. They're going to take more risks later into the game when we play them next. But like I think look, today's result was really look. It was what I expected. I think the one thing that was a little bit negative in the first half, which I felt was as soon as that first goal went in, the one thing I saw, which I don't know if you saw it whilst watching it, was that you would have thought the players would have gone, do you know what? Let's keep going. Keep the atmosphere in the place was going mad. And you felt 5 minutes, the tone dropped and it went quiet. And you're like, surely the players can notice that. And they're going, let's keep the momentum. The fans are behind us minute one because we scored in 30 seconds. Let's keep that atmosphere. Try and get the second. Try and get the third. I thought Maddison's goal, by the way, was absolutely brilliant. How he took it down like that, I thought was phenomenal. Like, you shouldn't be scoring from that level of angle and the way his body shape was.
It's crazy. When you look at James Maddison, it's crazy, isn't it? That we've had fans all year that would say they would rather have Kulusevski in the team than Maddison. For me, I feel that when Maddison doesn't play, nothing gets knitted together. I think that he's a leader on the pitch as well. His work rate tonight was absolutely brilliant. But let's look at in the forward areas. I mean, Richarlison, you mentioned him earlier. He did start. It did raise a lot of eyebrows. But I thought he had. Let me caveat this. We know he's not a technically brilliant footballer, but I thought he had a really good first half. He makes himself, you use the word nuisance.
Yeah.
And he puts himself about and he's bloody brilliant in the air, isn't he? So what did you make of his first half performance?
Look, I as I said, I thought he was brilliant first half. Everything you wanted in a. Do you know what? I think you hit the nail on the head. Technically not the best football player in the world. But the one thing that what you'll get from someone like that is the fullback knows are in a game, right? When you're playing against someone like that, or your defenders know you're up against someone when you're playing like him, because he'll put his body about. He's a big boy. He'll win stuff in the air. And look, I thought he did everything that you needed from him there. I thought he's brilliant. I thought, again, I mentioned it earlier, I thought the assist was brilliant because, again, most attackers, most strikers will try and go for goal from there. He has the vision to find Johnson at the back post. As I said, he just got himself thereabouts. He was in the middle of everything. He was in that sort of battle room at the front lines. Like, do you know what? I'll just cause a bit of havoc and try and get something. And that's what you needed from him. I thought, and the thing is again, some people may not like it, but when Tell came on in the second half, you felt you didn't have that in that second half, and it felt there was one less sort of body in that final third. Tell runs about a lot, has energy, but he doesn't sort of get in the mittens of it all. You don't battle. You don't see the battle from him. He's not built like that. He's not the same sort of player, but you know what I mean?
As the fullback, you don't want the physical battle that you have with Richarlison. Tell's probably the more technical player, but again, it's another game for me where I've watched Tell and gone, you don't really do a lot. Look, before we wrap up in a minute's time, look, what are you expecting second leg? Because they are going to have players back. They have had 3 of their best players suspended for tonight. They are going to have them back. Their crowd will make it a horrible, horrible atmosphere. But we did say a lot of this about Frankfurt. So what do you make of going there next week? What are you expecting?
As I said, I think the key bit, what we'll be expecting is they'll come at us. I think, as I said, I mentioned just a moment earlier as well, was they've got nothing now to lose, right? They're 2 goals down in a tie. So they're going to come at us. I think the one thing is I say it all the time, and because I've seen this kid play, we've got to stop Patrick Berg dictating the game, because he'll come in. He's their talisman. He's the main man. He missed the game today. And do you know what? You could tell he weren't playing today because their midfield wasn't as dynamic as when he plays. He's a top player. As I said, he's the sort of player I want Tottenham to be signing in the summer. But
Yeah.
Look, but the one thing what Spurs are going to benefit, one of the biggest things next Thursday, sorry. Next Thursday, they will benefit because there'll be space everywhere. Because
Yeah.
the longer and longer that we're still in the game and leading the game, the more and more they're going to push more bodies forward.
Completely agree.
And you're going to, do you know what? If it was me, you put two pacey guys out wide next weekend and just go, do you know what? When they're pushing up, we're just going to counter attack on the touchline and break on them, because they're going to, the more and more in the game, they're going to try and get a goal. What I would want to see from Tottenham in there is discipline is the key word now. I don't want to see Ange ball or whatever. Discipline next week. It's not about the result. Look, we can go there and lose 1-0. Don't care. We'll be in a final and we'll all be worrying about what looks like it's going to be Man United unless something else crazy happens. But we've seen enough from this tournament where anything can happen. Remember, Man United at Lyon was mental. Look, I think I expect us to go through. I expected us to go through when I knew we were playing these. It was weird because everyone that was telling people like us we were negative, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm sitting going, no, we're battering these. We'll get through this. We will beat Bodo Glimt over 2 legs. Easy. Yeah. But then it's mad, isn't it? You're overestimating now. You're going. So which is it? Make your minds up.
Yeah. Isn't it mad when you're called negative, but you predict to win? And honestly, you should have seen in my chat today the number of people coming in going, Savva's gutted, we're losing. You're like, what? What are you? Anyway, so what I take away from that is Bissouma was your man of the match. You still think Tottenham are going to go to Norway and win, and you're predicting the Man United Tottenham final, yeah?
Yeah, we'll be playing Man United in the final. Look, I think I don't know if we'll win next Thursday, but I think we'll go through. So I don't know if it'll be a draw or we might lose 1-0 or whatever, but whatever the result is, we'll go through. I just don't. Do you know what? Do you know what the one thing that is worrying me that keeps sticking in the back of my head? Zagreb keeps ringing in the back of my head, and I shouldn't worry
tonight. Listen, we are going to wrap up. I just want to make the quick fan cams. PERCHY has agreed to do one of these after every game, so big up to you, PERCHY. Really appreciate that. Listen, good win for Spurs. Just that goal, budging that door open, letting a little bit of light through. We need to shut it again. Take care, everyone. Please like, please subscribe. And as always, come on, you Spurs.